Hey, yo, say hello to the bad guy, Scott Hall, and I've got a scoop for you. And we all know there's a lot of podcasts out there, and I encourage you to check out this one. It's called Going In Raw. You heard it here first. Going In Raw.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw. This isn't exactly a news brief, but we're going to keep this review of Super Crown Royal Showdown.
Probably less said about it, better.
Brief today. You know what's actually really awesome, though, man? Today during our live stream, we raised the Friendos.
Let's spend 20 minutes talking about how great the Friendoverse is.
Look, I do want this review to be more of an advertisement for the link is still active.
Yes.
It's in the description below.
Yes.
It's for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. They do amazing work. We raised over $1,500, $1,534. The Friendos kicked in for this amazing, and the great thing is because we did a direct link,
1,544 now.
there you go. All that money went to the charity. And in the meantime, we did this while watching. This is the first time we've done this since the very first Saudi Arabia show. We watched Crown Royal, aka Super Showdown, and my God, could the WWE be any better at burying young talent and screwing over their future, Larson?
No, I don't think they could.
I don't think they could do a better job. We had Brock Lesnar absolutely squash and humiliate Ricochet, who should be a building block for the future.
Yeah, he didn't get any offense in.
And even worse than that, the thing that they have been building up so wonderfully,
to great success,
so perfectly over the past year or whatever it's been, 6 months, I guess.
Not even a year. Yeah, not even a year.
Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, lost to a shitty jackhammer to Goldberg, your new Universal Champion.
In less than 5 minutes.
In less than 5 minutes, because Goldberg can't go any further than that, setting up probably Goldberg versus Roman Battle of the Spears.
A match that doesn't need the title.
It writes itself. The Battle of the Spears.
It writes itself. I mean,
could you imagine the Fiend having Goldberg's face, his picture up on his wall?
I know.
And then he walks into WrestleMania. The rumored match there, of course, is the Fiend versus John Cena. The Fiend could get that win back, and Cena could be going after a 17th. That story with the title writes itself, and Fiend beats Cena, and then you set up Fiend versus Roman at like SummerSlam. It writes itself, but no, they're going for the short-term pop.
Yeah, I wonder if they look at the numbers when Goldberg showed up on SmackDown, set up this match where for that segment, numbers pop ratings-wise, and they thought, well, Goldberg equals ratings. Numbers on SmackDown aren't great. So let's see if we can put the title on him even for a short span of time, get the numbers up. Here's the thing. It's short-term thinking. Bray, the Fiend character, and it hasn't been a wild success across the board.
Creatively speaking, yes.
It hasn't necessarily, like some of the red light stuff, people went into that. We liked Hell in a Cell, the finish of that match where Seth tried to murder him, essentially.
Yeah.
That wasn't universally liked. Nonetheless, he's by far the most interesting character that's been on WWE television in a long time in terms of having depth, dimension, interesting. My understanding that he was selling a good amount of merch,
and that they'd course corrected the sort of the problems that they had with him. The red lights, they got rid of those. Daniel Bryan versus the Fiend at the last pay-per-view
was great.
Was really, really
probably
good.
The best match of Bray Wyatt's career.
Absolutely. And so you're building up this thing that nobody could beat. You feed him Goldberg. You feed him Cena.
Yeah, you have him beat everybody, and it takes. I mean,
feed him the Undertaker.
Yeah. Well, it's so frustrating because the story is there to be written that you build up Bray over the course of the next year, and at the same time you build up Roman in the course of the next year. You put them on a collision course to Mania next year. And granted, I know they probably want Roman versus Rock at Mania next year, so they can't do it because they're looking to pop rather than actually tell interesting stories and develop new stars. Nonetheless, do it at SummerSlam then. Do it at Survivor Series. Do it at the Rumble.
If Goldberg was your short-term pop, then keep bringing him back and have him against. I don't get if it's the presence of the person. Why does having the title on him
it doesn't matter.
make a goddamn difference?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating because time and again they failed to invest in new talent to build the company for the future. It's like they didn't even look to tomorrow. They just look today. And when the next day happens, it's today again.
Yeah.
They never look past the next day. And it's really frustrating.
And it ain't getting any better.
No.
It's not like the ratings are on an upwards trend.
No. And this will happen, and maybe on SmackDown tomorrow, if Goldberg shows up with the title, it'll get a modest pop. Week after, whatever pop will be there will be less. Week after, be less, until like 3 weeks later, you're back to where you were.
What are you going to do 3 weeks after WrestleMania? Because I'm pretty sure that leading up to WrestleMania, they'll be able to pull off all the bells and whistles. Dude, even the SmackDown tag match, you've got a nostalgia act, and it's like I like the Miz and I like Morrison and I like Morrison, but it's like, how long is that really going to last? You know what I mean? That's not a young team built for the future.
No.
So I don't know, man. It's just creatively speaking, it's crap. I have no doubt that between now and WrestleMania, the ratings are because WrestleMania buzz, WrestleMania season is a pretty big deal.
It is.
And they're going to be building this stuff. But like 3 weeks after WrestleMania, who's going to give a shit? What are you going to be left with?
I mean, people will watch Mania because it's Mania. At the same time, though, if the reactions in our live chat are to be believed, reactions on Twitter be believed, a lot of people are pretty salty about this.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Like up and down, every single wrestling personality, every single friend of the show, Sean Ross Sapp says it's crap. Matthew from Botchamania, that weird feeling of being both surprised and not surprised at the same time. Like, really, they did this? Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They have a star who peaked in 1998, and you put the title on him. Now we've got Goldberg with the Universal title. You got Brock with the WWE title.
You'll probably see those two titles combined 8 times between now and WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It's
Ross from Cultaholic. What a load of shite. I can't agree more.
Well put, Ross. Well put. It's immensely disappointing, and it boggles the mind. How in any way this is going to benefit the future of the company, because it's not.
Yeah.
You have Bray Wyatt, who could be a foundational piece, who could be this unstoppable force that whenever that person beats him, that person is made,
Yeah.
You take your time, you build the Fiend up to be basically unbeatable, and the person that beats him, you make that a huge deal.
Yeah.
And maybe they just thought, oh well, Goldberg beat Brock, and Brock didn't lose any of his mystique. That's completely different. Because Brock, I kind of felt it did a little bit, but Brock, he's like a legitimate combat athlete.
Yeah.
His mystique is based on his legitimacy as an athlete, not his aura as basically a supernatural entity, which is what the Fiend's all about. You have him lose because, like, how many curb stomps did Seth give him at the last Saudi match that the Fiend won? He tossed him in some road stuff, and there was an explosion in Bray.
All they're saying is Daniel Bryan ain't better than Goldberg. They're saying
nobody.
Seth Rollins ain't better than Goldberg.
They're saying maybe Brock. Brock is the only member of the roster who can even compete with Goldberg.
Yeah.
Even compete.
Yeah. And what does that say about your future? None of these guys are better than a guy who peaked in 1998. Is 55 years old. None of these guys are better than him.
He gets blown up walking down the ring.
AJ Styles got laid out with one choke slam from The Undertaker. He's like 60 years old or 55 years old.
Yeah.
What does that say? And AJ Styles isn't even young. What does that say about your future in the WWE? What does that say?
It tells you they're not invested in it. So why should we be invested in it? Anyways, let's just go through this quick. We missed the pre-show, but in surprising fashion, the OC defeated the Viking Raiders. Yeah. Who the Viking Raiders piss off backstage,
No kidding. What was that all about? That's weird.
I wonder if it was a situation where they booked them beating a bunch of jobbers, and then Vince was like, "How come this team's not getting over?"
Yeah, right.
I don't want anything. I don't want anything to do with them now.
Was this more just for this one event? Well, we need the OC to look strong here because the Undertaker is going to beat them up. So let's have them beat the former Raw Tag Champions so that OC looked kind of strong today, so that Undertaker is not beating up a couple of chumps, even though the OC have been booked as chumps since the last show.
Yeah, that wouldn't make a lick of sense. I'm hoping this is a situation where Viking Raiders could beat everybody but the OC, because I think the 3 losses they have, apart from Seth and Buddy, 3 of the 4 losses I think they've had has been at the hands of the OC. So maybe that's just the thing, is like the OC just have their number.
Yeah, that could be.
For whatever reason. We didn't watch the match. The finish, though, was Hanson missed a moonsault. OC hit Magic Killer for the win. Main card kicked off with the
Two-Wake Mountain Gauntlet match.
Yes. Start out with R-Truth versus Bob Lashley.
Yeah, there was some weird stuff, not in this particular section of the match, but yeah, R-Truth versus Lashley. Lashley. How did that?
He dominated for the most part, and then he goes for a spear.
That's right.
Truth avoids that.
Rolls him up, gets the win. Then Lashley just beats the crap out of Truth after the match, which, of course, leaves Andrade, the returning Andrade. He comes out next.
Yeah, he kind of ambles out to the ring. Not a whole lot of sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Excuse me, it's a long ramp. But
once he gets in the ring, he rushed at Truth.
Yeah, he did.
And then there was a weird bit. So the way this finished was he went for his Judas effect. He went for his back elbow, which he's done a million times. But I guess, so let's say this was a work. Let's say this is planned.
Yeah.
Was the idea that they knocked heads?
It must have been, because Andrade hit the mat holding his head.
Yeah, and Truth was holding his head, but Truth collapses on top of Andrade and gets the 3 there.
Yeah.
It looked like a botch. It looked like Andrade really got knocked for a loop, but then that wouldn't explain our Truth conveniently falling on him. That seemed planned. So that was just a weird way for Andrade to come back.
I know. It's like a move Andrade has done hundreds, if not thousands of times, and this is the one time where something screwy happens.
Here's the thing about these matches. So, like, when Seth did his gauntlet match like 2 years ago, and it was this great performance, it felt more like a gutsy performance from a
top flight athlete.
In this case, the first 2 falls for Truth. My point here that I'm getting at, I'm taking the scenic route, is Truth. It didn't even really make Truth look good.
No.
Because both of these were flukes.
Mm-hmm.
They were just flukes, because the first one, Lashley, accidentally headbutted the ring post. He got rolled up. Andrade botches a Judas effect. Truth falls on him. Rowan is next.
He just gets mad and starts beating up Truth ringside and gets counted or gets DQ because he hits him with ring steps.
Yeah, so that wasn't really Truth's thing. That wasn't him.
And then they set up the next match with Truth versus AJ Styles, where AJ's being super cocky. He'll kick Truth, dance a little bit, hit him another shot, dance a little bit. They're setting this up where AJ gets rolled up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because he's overconfident.
Yeah.
Instead, he just locks in the calf crusher and Truth taps.
Yeah.
It's like they build this match up to have a certain result. And this, unpredictability is fine and all. But in a situation where you build up and you think the story is going to go somewhere, at least have Truth mount a comeback. He really didn't.
Yeah.
AJ just puts him in the calf crusher. He taps out.
Mm-hmm.
And then so the final bout was supposed to be AJ versus Rey Mysterio. Rey's music hit. No Rey. Again, Rey music hit. No Rey. We go backstage. The OC is beating him up in gorilla position. AJ grabs the mic and says, look, Rey has to forfeit. I'm gauntlet match champion. Tells ref to raise his hand. Ref doesn't. AJ calls him the worst referee in the business.
That was pretty funny.
So AJ goes down the timekeeper area, gets Mike Rome's face, and says,
Ring the bell.
And Mike Rome's like, I can't do that. And AJ goes, I want that trophy. And then Rome goes to the commiserates with the ref. And then Rome says, AJ's opponent needs to answer the count of 10 or AJ will win.
You'd think there'd be some rules in place for something like this.
I know.
But their rule book is
a sketch pad.
Yeah.
And then we go backstage. Gallows is laid out. Carl Anderson gets tossed into frame like he's getting tossed out of a saloon. And in walks the feet of the Undertaker.
Or Batman.
Batman doesn't wear a duster, does he?
We do find out. Well, we find out that the feet were...
In fact, Undertaker, yeah.
Yeah.
So Undertaker comes out. And at this point, we're like, all right, is Undertaker just going to choke slam and walk out to set up the Mania match, or is he actually going to hit choke slam him or tombstone and actually pin him? Yeah. It was the latter. So Undertaker walks out. AJ gets in his face, starts poking his chest, and Undertaker does the, I'm upset that you're poking me in the chest.
Stop poking me. I don't like being touched by people.
AJ tries to punch him. Taker grabs him by the throat, choke slams him, and just pins him with one choke slam. He gets to take home that trophy.
Had he been medically cleared? Did he submit his paperwork to be in this match? There's just no rhyme or reason, man. He looks at the trophy, decides not to take it with him.
It's probably heavy.
We're assuming somebody might have come in and grabbed it for him on his behalf.
Yeah, it's getting shipped back to
It looked like
back to Austin, wherever he lives.
Austin. After that, we had a New Day promo. They're happy that Undertaker is back, but now's the time to show why they're the best tag team.
Essentially.
Yeah. And we had Miz and Morrison versus New Day. Probably the best match on the card.
It was a fun match.
This or the other tag match, that was decent.
Yeah, they were both fun. I kind of give the edge to this one. The finish of this saw there's a lot of back and forth, especially towards the finish. A lot of near falls, a lot of escaping of finishes. Kofi gets sent to the ropes. Morrison has a chair. Bang, hits Kofi with it. Miz rolls Kofi up with a handful of tights to pick up the win. New SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Kind of saw this coming. Nonetheless, it was a fun match.
It was fun, and like I said, I like Miz. I'm not going to complain about this. I like Miz and Morrison.
And the way Miz and Morrison won it advances the story.
Yeah,
New Day say, hey, you cheated to win. We want a shot at our belts back.
Yeah,
makes all the sense in the world.
They're fantastic, though. I like Miz and Morrison a lot. After that, we had Seth and Buddy interview. I think I was busy doing something else because I didn't hear what Seth said.
Seth says, I respect you, Street Profits. He says their moral compass is off. They are standing in the way of progress. And he said it's a matter of destiny that the threat of the Street Profits be eradicated.
Yeah. Ooh.
Strong language.
Yeah, no kidding.
After that, Angel Garza versus Humberto Carillo. Someone backstage really likes Angel Garza for good reason because he's outstanding.
Yeah.
Another really good match. And the end of this match is similar to the sequence end of the last match, and the result was the same, a bunch of roll-up attempts. Garza got the last roll-up to get the win.
Yeah.
No handstand slapping, though.
No.
Unfortunately.
No.
That bit was great.
No, but you know what? Things are obviously quite a bit more conservative there in Saudi. They let him do
the pants,
pants coming off thing.
Yeah.
Pretty shocking. After that, we had a Bayley interview. She said, she's making history again, just like she has her entire career.
And she's going to beat Naomi. After
After that,
this is the first women's championship defense.
That's right. Yeah.
In Saudi Arabia.
That's right. After that, we had Seth and Buddy. Buddy had some new. He had long
jacket.
He had new jacket. He had new pants. He looked good.
Him and Disciple on the side.
Yeah. What would you rather have on your tights, Disciple or All Day, and then a picture of Patrick Sparks?
I'd rather have the real superstar, like Austin Theory had the week prior.
Seth and Buddy versus the Street Profits. This was a fun match, mainly because Montez Ford is endlessly fun to watch.
Man, that frog splash. Because Seth that was close to the ropes?
Yeah.
Seth was close to the ropes, so rather than jumping high and out, he just went super high and then straight down. It was insane.
He was up there with some fireworks.
He was a next level athlete.
Hey, we have to give it up also for the Sports Authority or whoever was in charge of presentation here, because the budget they had for pyro and lasers
was off the charts.
As always with these Saudi shows.
It's off the charts.
Was amazing.
Yeah. Anyways, finish this. Buddy Murphy hit a V-trigger on Angelo Dawkins. He sends him into the ropes. He's trying to get him off the ropes, and the ref... This kind of really annoys me that they're consistent with this, so I guess whatever. But in terms of it being coherent with any sort of rules, so Buddy V-triggers, in this case Dawkins, we've seen this several times, into the ropes. So he goes over there and tries to get him off the ropes, which we've seen before. And the ref pulls him back and breaks it up, which allows Seth to come over, hit the stomp. Buddy covers Dawkins to get the win.
Yeah.
It's just kind of
this
fast and loose with the rules.
This is great, man. So Ryan Satin tweeted this out 10 minutes ago. And it's a quote from Roman Reigns during the WrestleMania stadium thing that they did like a month ago.
Yeah.
From a completely honest, so he was asked who he'd rather face, the Fiend or Goldberg. From a completely honest standpoint, I would much rather face the Fiend. He's busted his ass all year long for it. No offense to Goldberg. I think he's a great performer. He's a great superstar. But I'm into the future right now. Well, I'm sorry, Roman, but your company isn't.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyways, continue.
Anyway, so that was the finish of the match. Buddy covers. Angelo gets the win. Seth and Buddy retain the tag titles. Next, Dolph Ziggler versus Mansoor. This was as close to a lock as you would assume on this card. Mansoor getting the win. Bob Roode joined Dolph ringside. Pretty much before the match even starts, he gets tossed from ringside because he and Mansoor go at it a little bit, talking some trash. He's tossed by the ref. Mansoor wins after a really cool sliced bread DDT.
Yeah.
That was neat.
Yeah, that was cool.
And then a moonsault, and did an interview afterwards.
Yeah. You know, it's so funny because watching Mansoor's, you have to appreciate the guy. You know, it's like he does what he's getting paid to do. He comes out for these Saudi shows, and he these interviews or these promos that he does after his matches, they're all so melodramatic. They're not even dramatic. They're melodramatic.
Yeah.
You know, everybody here in the crowd lifted me up and hope and all this stuff. But then if you see him on like gaming live streams, he's like the biggest wisecracker, you know? I don't know. It's a funny juxtaposition.
Yeah.
How over the top dramatic he is in these things. And then to see him, you know, in his natural element, I guess, back in Orlando with Dio Madden in these streams, and he's just being a big goofball.
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny.
After that, we had a Ricochet Brock Lesnar video package that probably lasted longer than the actual match, bell to bell. It was a really well put together video package. That was kind of the through line was a Ricochet promo, how he's been continually underestimated in his career. And given the result of this match, sadly for Ricochet, I don't think that's going to change much for him. So the match happens, bell rings, Ricochet runs towards Brock, goes for a drop kick. Brock bats him down, hits a few suplexes, a couple shots, F5, Brock wins. That's it. Not any offense for Ricochet.
Zero. And it was. He didn't even have the benefit of Kofi having the fluke jumping into an F5 and losing. He tried.
It was domination
and he got nothing
from the beginning.
Yeah.
Just absolute domination from the very beginning.
A guy who's... Does Ricochet have a pin on AJ Styles?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
He's won U.S. Championship. He's pinned AJ.
Yeah.
A guy who took Brock
Drew
to his limit.
He eliminated Drew from the King of the Ring tournament.
He's pinned Drew, and it doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
After that, we had a very standard Baron Corbin versus Roman Reigns cage match.
Yeah,
where Roman starts out by locking the padlock on the door, and then he puts his key in the pocket. So then we had 10 minutes of Baron...
Of both of them. Like Baron trying to get into his pocket, and then Roman continually checking his pocket to make sure key was still in there. It's
like a 10-year-old wrote this shit.
They're trying to do... Like,
okay, how would you do this? He has a key, and he locks the door. And then what does he do with the key? Puts it in his pocket.
No, you lock the door and you throw the key.
You throw the key out of the cage.
And they can get bolt cutters to open the cage.
It writes you want to be.
The idea should be Roman wants to be locked into this cage with Baron so he can drop maximum destruction upon Baron. That should be the idea. Not like I'm going to beat him up and then when I'm done and I win, I can go and unlock the cage at my leisure. No. It should be, I want this thing like welded shut so Baron has no chance to escape the beating I'm going to give him. That should be the idea. But they really should have made this match just pinfall or submission, and you can't win by escaping the cage. So yeah, all this awkward fumbling of getting the key out of the pocket and stuff. So the chain they used to keep the door shut was used. I guess that was the story beat they really wanted. Mm-hmm. Because it was kind of used as a weapon or as a threat of a weapon by Baron at one point. In the end, though, Roman wraps his fist in chain. Superman punches Baron to get the win. Hopefully, God willing, this is the end.
Yeah.
This is it. No more of this. No more Baron and Roman. Move on.
Yeah, Ross from Cultaholic had everybody's panties in a bunch.
Yeah.
Because he tweeted out, according to the news, those are his words, according to the news.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Tomorrow night on SmackDown, we're going to get a rematch, Super Showdown rematch. But here's the thing. It's totally possible. And in fact, I might say that's likely. Yeah. After that, we had Naomi versus Bayley in a match that was...
It was fine. It was a good match. They gave it a ton of time.
I thought the finish was goofy as hell. So here's the thing. They wear those big baggy shirts because of Saudi Arabia, and it's goofy. My point about this finish is, and it was creative.
It was creative.
Do we need to draw attention to the fact that they have to wear these stupid baggy shirts?
The huge shirts to begin with draws attention to the fact they have to.
Do we need a microscope on that? Do we need to draw further attention?
This is the way I looked at it, is that Bayley realized, there's something different in this match because of where we are that I could take advantage of. I like that. I thought strategically, that's interesting. It's creative.
I feel myself slipping into Bryan Alvarez mode right now. That's stupid. That sucks.
I thought it was creative.
Garbage. Why would she wear a giant T-shirt in the first place? Well, because they're Saudi Arabia.
Because they have to.
Yeah.
And so if you're...
But her shirt wasn't as baggy as
Bayley's wasn't as... No, Naomi's was baggier.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Naomi's was way baggier. Way baggier. Yeah. It was like a giant... It was like a 4X.
Yeah, it was pretty huge.
It was huge. I don't know. It was just kind of it was goofy. I thought it was goofy.
Oh, it was goofy and silly, but I was like, okay, that's creative.
It was just kind of funny and how good, because she's sitting there struggling on the floor. She looks like RoboCop when he got all shot up. She's like sitting there struggling on the floor, and Bayley just grabs her and does her finish, it was a very brutal looking version of her finish, which I do appreciate that aspect of it. But I don't know. I thought it was stupid. And then, speaking of stupid, our main event.
All right, so I can go through for this pretty much beat by beat and just get out of the way. So Bray's entrance was fantastic.
Oh, beautiful.
So many lasers.
Rockstar. Beautiful.
It was great. Goldberg seemed pretty dialed back But we'd find out why later. Apparently his sparklers shot up, but the timing was off and he missed it, and that's what people were telling us. So they're both in the ring, stare down. Goldberg hits an immediate spear. Bray kicks out like a half.
Mm-hmm.
And they get a close-up on Bill, and he's all like, WTF. He kicked out of the spear. He shouldn't do that.
Nope.
Even though the spear's not his finisher, why would you think anybody would not kick out of it? And so while Bill's all WTF, Fiend locks in the mandible claw. Bill gets up, drives him to the corner, hits another spear, then another, then another. Bray kicks out of all that. And while Goldberg is, again, what the heck, the Bray Fiend pops up Undertaker style, puts the claw on Goldberg again. Goldberg breaks out of that with a headbutt, a couple knees, gets him up barely for a jackhammer.
Oh, barely.
And pins him.
And they're standing there in jackhammer position to get him up. And you could tell Goldberg's like, okay, this is everything I have left.
I only got to do one of these.
And he gets him up barely. And Bray's a big dude, obviously.
He is.
He gets, it's not like he's fighting Ricochet. He gets him up there and like just, there's no stalling. It's just he sort of turns him over. So it's the weakest looking jackhammer you've ever seen in your life.
And we're all, Bray's going to kick out because he kicked out of 15 curb stomps.
Right.
No, he doesn't kick out.
Doesn't kick out. Now, what they do give him, and I honestly, man, I hope this leads to, something really meaty between Bray and Roman down the line, post-Mania, I guess, is, look, if they book this so that the Fiend, this is me being wildly optimistic. If they book this to give the Fiend an even more menacing disposition where he's just destroying things to get back to having that Universal title, then that's a story that I would be interested in seeing. Is Bray Wyatt now in danger of becoming Bray Wyatt from before the Fiend? Yes, absolutely. Where he takes big losses to people that WWE from 20 years ago deem more valuable than him because they can pop, 2 weeks worth of ratings. Yes, that's totally possible.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
The Fiend should take that title right off Roman when he gets it, and then have Roman chase him for it. They gave him this. So Goldberg, he gets the blue title.
They have it ringside.
And explain that one. Kayfabe, explain that shit.
Can't.
So he gets up on the corner and he's holding the title and everybody's all tweeting and shit.
And then Fiend just pops up. He's standing up.
Fiend pops up and he's pissed off and he's like barking at Goldberg, who's barely even acknowledging him.
Not at all. I think he barely turned around. Lights go down, lights come up. Fiend teleports out.
Yeah, and that's the show.
And then we get then Bill gets all his pyrotechnics. There's fireworks all over the place at that point.
Yeah.
Anyways, disheartening end of the show. But again, shout out to all the friendos. Open up their wallets to help a really good cause. We're up to $1,564 now.
And we're going to keep that link active. I don't know
I think it's for today, I think it's all day.
Oh, okay, cool. Right on. So, yeah. If you're watching this, man, even if it's $1, even if it's $5, it's a great cause. Click on that link, and you'll be helping out some kids who really, really need it.
Yep.
So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Hey, follow us at twitch.tv/Steven Larson. We're going to start doing our live recaps of Raw, SmackDown, AEW, and NXT. There on the Twitch. We're going to start doing that next week.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to start a little bit of it this week. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.